Charleston Riverdogs is back for another exciting baseball season. Today, I talk one-on-one with Dave Echols, the president and GM of the Charleston Riverdogs, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Dave Echols, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Q. Look forward to doing this every few times a season. Thanks.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Needless to say, you're the president and GM of the Charleston Riverdogs. And I know that the Riverdogs actually hosted the Columbia Fireflies in their home opener on April 11th. So what's new, what's now with the Charleston Riverdogs this season?
Yeah, well, it's unique being able to talk about the team a lot the last few years. So what's new with the Riverdogs is we're back-to-back champs, and we're starting a new season with a new roster, or a majority of a new roster. So we're excited to see the young kids come out and play for the first time as Riverdogs and see if they're able to keep that string of championships going. I mean, to win one is great. To win two very rarely happens back to back. So to really think about a three-peat year, we're stretching it a little bit, but it's a lot of fun to talk about and a lot of fun to communicate with the fans. And I think the social media and the buzz about the team early on and right as the season was beginning was really high, and that's because we're back-to-back champs. So it's a lot of fun in that regard. As far as what else is new, it's a typical Riverdog promotional calendar, so there's a lot of new things there. We always try to surprise the fans with some new things on our food and beverage, and you just try to keep that customer service. You try to keep improving upon it every season, and so all the little things that maybe fans, they don't see how it's being done, but they see the results of it. That's kind of what we're trying to focus on.
So what are those little things that we don't know about when it comes to the food and beverage and promotions?
Well, it's a collaborative effort. We're finally back to almost full strength on the full-time staff coming out of COVID now for the second, third year. So we feel good about where we are with the staff. And so you bring the staff together, you talk about what the goals are, you talk about what we've done. And so then we just start brainstorming about what we think we'd like to see from a food and beverage and a promotion standpoint. So you're throwing everything on the wall, maybe not throwing food on the wall, but you're throwing ideas on the wall, and you sit back as a group and see what you like, and then you let those specific departments zero in to see how they're going to execute them. And so a big thing for us for food and beverage was really trying to streamline the transaction process and really trying to give the fans what most attendees are expecting when they come to venues and large events. And so you want to be able to make the cashless transaction fast. You want to be able to give them mobile ordering. You want to be able to satisfy their, I guess, not only what they're looking to eat, but also how quickly they can do it. And so we've done a lot to try to enhance that. And promotionally, we've got a whole new staff on the marketing and promotions side of things. So that's rare for us. We don't usually have that many new staff all at once, and so we're educating and letting them put their creative stamp on it. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that promotional calendar comes together. But I like a lot of, there's a good handful on that calendar I like that I think they can have a lot of fun with. And you still want to have what most fans are expecting when they come through the gates happen, and then you want to hit them with a surprise. And I think we have a good handful of surprises ready, but when you come to the game, what we're known for and what people are expecting, they're definitely going to get that, and it's all about fun is good and being able to relax at the ballpark, and we're certainly going to enhance that as much as we can.
And now that you have this new staff, so how do you educate them, but also allow them to be creative?
Yeah, well, it comes down to making sure everybody's on the same page, and so that starts with with me and senior staff to educate them on the Riverdog way of how we do things and what the community expects from us. And once they get that understanding, and we sprinkle in our business philosophy, fun is good. So once you mix all that together, they should have a really good understanding of what a Riverdog means. And once they have that, well, I mean, that's why we hired them. We're excited to bring you on because you have this experience, or you have this energy and this creativity. So I don't want to stand in your way. I want to let you be able to be you and do that. And so that we did a lot of that before the season. So now it's, hey, let's see if we made the right decision. So we started Tuesday. Yeah. We got 2 home games under our belt. Opening day was phenomenal. And Wednesdays are a really hard day to draw middle of the week, and we had a great night last night. So I think if the weather holds, we should have a great weekend and off to the races, as they say.
Yes, sir. And so, besides the obvious, what else do the customers want to eat at the baseball stadium these days?
Well, and that's a crazy, it's a crazy fun problem to have. Like the pace, or everything's evolving, and certainly food and beverage, and then in how you're communicating and how the fan is paying and executing. So it's an ever evolving process as fast as technology is moving. But so you want to try to not only provide the technology, but you also want to provide the slow down and say, hey, somebody wants a hot dog, or hey, the fan base is really into craft beer. So how do we provide a lineup that gives them options for craft beer? And then, as the example with craft beer, well, then there's national craft beer, then there's local craft beer. So, you try to figure out where you think the higher interest is based on your fans and your community feedback. And, we've always been known for having unique food items. We're not trying to create, we're not a food establishment that's going to put a hamburger or a hamburger patty between a donut. That's not who we are. But we definitely try to push the envelope with unique things that we think fans are going to like and that they may not normally get at a ballpark or here with the Riverdogs. And so we try to sprinkle in a few of those every season. And but our main focus, so there are a few of those, but our main focus, as I said earlier, is we're really trying to be able to educate the fans so their transaction time and experience at the concessions is shorter, and then able to get back and enjoy the fun or the game, whichever they're more interested in.
So, what is the community feedback overall when it comes to the Riverdogs and baseball?
Well, I'm probably a little selfish when asking a question like that. I think I would like to think, and by our feedback that we receive, I think the automatic reaction is smiles. You say, hey, you've been to a Riverdog game? Smile. Have you been to a Riverdog game? Are you going to a Riverdog game? What do you know about the Riverdog game? You smile. And I think, and that's because the atmosphere that we've created the last 20, 25 years, and most fans in the Low Country were here as kids, and now are bringing their kids. So I think that's the general reaction. And my job, the staff's job, is just, not to screw that up. Our job is to enhance that. And so we try with the community outreach and with the promotions and everything to keeping that the central focus and building off of that.
And speaking of building off things, let me ask you, how were you able to market this year's season when the roster, came out recently?
Yeah, it's a challenge in minor league baseball, especially at the lower level that we are, because we can't market players because, one, we didn't know who our team was until they got here, and two, it's such a transient business that we want players to play well, and then if they do, they get moved and promoted, and so they're not here very long. So what we do to market the team is we market the brand. We market our community outreach. We market the food. We market the promotions. We're a little bit different than, say the tennis tournament, the Battery, or the Stingrays, because a lot of times those players stay for extended periods of time. Now they're trying to move up themselves, but from what I've observed, historically, a lot of those players stay with those teams for a season or two, whereas our guys are really only here for a month or two. And so it's a big difference for us. And so we'll use our players in our marketing, but it's not really to market the player as much as it is to market the brand and the team as a whole, because our players are just up and down, coming and going all the time. And so it's about marketing the brand. The fun is good, the food, the promotions.
That's really amazing. So what are those teams that are actually on the roster right now that you all are keeping an eye on?
Well, we were lucky in a unique sort of way. Normally when a roster arrives and the team gets here, it's a brand new team. We were fortunate enough to have about 5 or 6 guys come back from last year, or at least that ended the season with us. And so that was, and we won a championship. So that was exciting to have those guys brought back. And then the new kids that are here, the young players, there's probably 2 or 3 that were really high draft picks. And so we're excited to watch those young players, see how they adjust to playing for the first time at night, playing for the first time in front of a large and rowdy crowd. So it's fun to see them get excited and take that fan energy and excel on the field. But you really just never know until you get into about May, middle to end of May, when you really start seeing what type of roster you have and how they're playing. And then by that time, the major league team is making changes. So Tampa has done a great job with our guys the last 2 years. They've done a great job with their entire farm system. They're rated the best in Major League Baseball. So we rely on them to do that, and they're doing a great job.
So what is that farm system like in general?
Well, there's Charleston. We're the youngest, so we're the lowest of the levels. So there's low A, high A, double A, triple A, and then the major. So we're at the bottom of that scale, which simply just means we get the youngest players.
Yeah.
And the players are trying to move up that ladder each until they get to the big leagues. And Tampa has done a great job. Not only have we won back-to-back championships, but the other teams in their farm system have all made the playoffs or won championships as well. So it's great that they're doing such a fantastic job of developing their young players to then be ready to be playing for Tampa or some other team in Major League Baseball. And so it's fun to watch that development and watch the guys that were here and now they're in high A or double A or maybe even triple A. And we actually, today's Thursday, right? We had a former Riverdog pitcher 2 years ago just started in the game for the Major League Tampa Bay Rays last night. So he got the win. So it's fun to watch and track the guys do that and have success. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Dave Echols with the Charleston Riverdogs, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thanks, Q. Appreciate it. Anytime.
You're welcome anytime.